film, which brings us into part 2 of this film, which was titled Age of Heroes. This is where we kind of get Steppenwolf picking out his location. He has the parademons going off, sniffing out people that were near the mother boxes, setting off their mission. We have Hippolyta sending out the arrow to Diana. She's the only one that's going to know what this means. An invasion coming to Earth. I love the sequence where we see Diana getting the history lesson and the menacing music, setting up the tone, setting up the scene. We got my man, Aquaman, saving the sailor from the water, setting off his kind of side mission, which I'll talk about him in a little bit. Some of my criticisms come with Aquaman in regards to the subplot, him talking to Valko and about the rightful heir and all that good stuff that we got in the scene. We got Steppenwolf talking to Snyders in regards to this is the motives. This is the character development that we didn't get 4 years ago. Why is he on Earth? He has a mission. He betrayed Darkseid. He betrayed the throne, and now he has 50,000 worlds of debt. We also wrap up with Wonder Woman giving Bruce Wayne the history lesson, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Lord of the Rings-ish type of moment. This was when the film... I mean, it was already in the next level, but when we get to that moment of history lesson, the gods taking, I mean, no offense to Amazonians, Atlanteans, Green Lanterns, Zeus and Ares can handle Darkseid, or I should say, Euskis by themselves. They didn't need any help, but they take out the mother boxes. I saw
what you did there.
They defeat Darkseid pretty easily. And I have a question for the panel in regards to the anti-life equation. If Darkseid knew it was there, if he didn't know it was there in that moment, we'll talk about that. But we wrap up this moment with Darkseid being defeated by the old gods and going off to rest up and recuperate as we end this second part. So, Amanda, what were some of the standout moments for you in this part 2, which was titled The Age of Heroes?
I low-key feel bad for Steppenwolf because the whole time just kept trying and like Desaad was such an ass to him the whole time. And I think the best part, like literally this whole weekend, has been the memes. All the memes on Twitter just like calling out Desaad and like Steppenwolf just being I don't know if you guys saw the picture of the kitten, like I was dying. Anyways, I feel bad for Steppenwolf, but he had such a great arc, I think, in this film as well, which boosted his character entirely. From the 2017 version, right? So he had so much more to do, and it flowed so well. It really did. With Aquaman, it felt weird. Like, I don't know why, like the placement for him, like in this film and like the buildup, I don't know what it was, but it just felt really off for me. I don't know I swear I don't know what it was, but like I loved having Volko and, them having that conversation. So that was good. And then I love the scene. I just like skipped to Aquaman like right there. But anyways, going back to Diana, it was beautifully shot. That was beautifully shot going in, and she's with the flame and the cave and just everything. It was just so fantastic. And then the one thing that I did appreciate though is what Zack Snyder did in Atlantis. I thought it's completely different than what James Wan did, but just to see the contrast and like the visions from both of them was really cool. Yeah. And then also the color grading in the water was just like it was different, but it looked like ancient. Like it looked really cool in that way. And then I wish there was just something more with Aquaman. I can't put my finger on it. It was just off for me.
For me with Aquaman, this is just a continuation throughout the film. Valko and Mera, and this has nothing to do with Amber Heard outside of movie making. They just didn't fit the tone for me. Like their subplot to me did not feel natural. And I'll be honest, I love Zack Snyder. I don't like the look of Atlantis. I don't like the bubble talking. I don't like the look of the design of Atlantis. And that was kind of my criticisms with Aquaman, but I don't know if the panel shares that same sentiment. But Alex, man, your take on this second part, highlighting the Age of Heroes, and we get that incredible history lesson of the war of the new gods and the Earth protectors versus Darkseid.
Yeah, well, let's get right into the Aquaman. Aquaman. So,
my man.
Yeah, my man Aquaman. You know what's weird? I like the way he portrayed Aquaman in this one. The rock star, I don't give a crap about the world. I hate you. Leave me alone. I'm here. I'm not a king. Like that whole thing. And I was like, I like that because I watch Aquaman, right? Like I did it yesterday. I watched Aquaman just to see the difference of where we were going. And I understand what you're talking about because Mira was totally. She had an accent,
British accent. Like what is that?
And it made no
narrative
sense.
Inconsistencies.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah.
But one thing it did hit on when she does meet Aquaman in the movie, she goes, "You defeated Steppenwolf and you destroyed the mother boxes." And I went, "Oh, so this movie does take place." Okay, now I was like, all right, great. But in the movie, it does feel kind of weird but I like that Rockstar version of that. I don't give a crap. Give me whiskey. It's on him. Like I like that version. I was like, hell yeah, like give me that all day. I kind of like dark characters. Like I'm not. I'm kind of noticing like if they're dark, it's for me. Like the James Bond version is up my alley. Yeah. But I do agree with you. It did feel weird when they came across each other because I'm like, damn, didn't she have red hair? And this one she's like brown. I was like, this made no damn sense. Yeah. And then there was one scene with Aquaman that he looked like Little Mermaid when he swam over the rock. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know if you
to look at the Triton. Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, is it me? Like I thought he's gonna break into a song. Like, so I was like, that was weird. The fight. The Tomb Raider. The Tomb Raider scene. Yeah, that one right there. That was the Little Mermaid shot, bro. I was like, that's a Little Mermaid. Now this dude, I liked him. That whole putting the mother box in the metal, and it became like a hologram. Yeah. That was badass, and like it was pretty cool for me. I thought that was cool, and he was like, "Master, I want to talk to whatever," and I was like, "Yeah, this is cool." Like, he had a goal. We never got a goal in the other movie. I was like, what the hell was his point being on Earth? Like this one, he's like, I will find the boxes and, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I saw 12 hours of this. So
he's on a conquest.
Yeah, so he's on a quest to redeem himself. And I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. And then the fact that that battle sequence with Darkseid, and you saw the Green Lantern, you see he dies, and where the ring goes, we really don't know. I thought that whole sequence was fantastic. It reminded me like a page in a comic when you open it and it's just like a whole filler page. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was, I don't know. It was a great part too. I mean, there's some nitpicks here and there with Aquaman. Yeah. But other than that, yeah, it was still a great continuation.
I agree with you, man. Soups, man. How was your take on the Age of Heroes in regards to some of the moments that stood out and maybe some moments that didn't work for you in this second part?
Yeah, so for me, I loved all of the I love seeing more of Aquaman because Jason Momoa just owns this character. Like I feel like it's not even Aquaman, it's just Jason Momoa being Jason Momoa. Yeah. So I'm always down to see more of him as Aquaman. Again, my only gripe with all of the Atlantis stuff is the bubble talk. I feel like that's just
I don't get it.
It's so unnecessary. But
it was in the Aquaman movie though. Them talking in the bubble.
I thought they just talked.
I thought they just talked regularly underwater.
It's a choice.
It's a choice.
It's weird.
Like, could it talk like regular, like Little Mermaid style? It was what it was. So, I'm not big on the Atlantis stuff, but whatever. Because right after that, we had like the Tomb Raider scene with Wonder Woman discovering the history of Darkseid, and again, it adds more to these villains. The build up to them. Here we actually get a build up to Darkseid, and then a couple of minutes later, we see Diana telling Bruce, and we see this awesome like Lord of the Rings-esque scene where it's just it's way longer than what we got back in 2017. Way longer. Two, we actually follow the main players in this fight. We follow Zeus. We follow Ares. We follow the freaking Green Lantern. Oh my gosh. I need more of Zack Snyder's Green Lantern. We saw like a shot of Kilowog later on. They look so good, and seeing Darkseid actually fight, seeing Darkseid in action, that was so dope, so awesome to see. And by the way, dude, when Ares put that axe in Darkseid's shoulder, my jaw dropped.
Hated on him, man.
My jaw dropped.
It was so cool.
But again, another thing I missed too is that whole scene where Steppenwolf was creating his base and he talks to Desaad. That is so integral to that character because for the rest of the movie, we don't necessarily get any more of like Steppenwolf talking about how he needs to prove himself. But in this one scene, it tells us his entire motivation. It tells us why he's doing what he's doing. And it's because he wants to prove himself to Darkseid. So like that, he's accepted back on Apocalypse. And it makes so much sense. Now you actually understand this character. You understand why he's doing what he's doing. And I'm not saying you can empathize with him, but you get him. You can connect with the villain more. So it added so much more to his character in such a little scene that's so integral. Again, I don't understand how they cut this, but Whatever. Yeah.
Man,
Good scene. Check.
Yeah,
Cut it out.
amazing scene. I love that Zach in here. Take that out of the movie, please. Kolby, man, your take on the Age of Heroes, Darkseid's mission, his conquest. We get, Parademons sniffing out. We get Stylish Stone's approach or appearance in the film, and then we get we conclude with that awesome epic battle with Darkseid there.
Steppenwolf in Russia.
Yeah.
And some of the key lines to be able to understand a villain and his mission. Ultimately, what I need inside of any movie that I watch. Do I believe in this world? Do I believe in these characters? Do I believe in their convictions? Do I believe in their goals? And did they achieve them?
Yep.
The fact that we have the boom tomb, and essentially, like, we're looking at it as a war strategy. Create a stronghold. The reason why we lost is because we went on the offensive first, right?
Yep.
Create a defensive stronghold so that way, when the war is ready, we have this, right? And the fact that he says it legitimizes, like, why Russia? Why this family? He says, it's toxic. That's good. He will be pleased. He will see my worth again. He's no longer the religious zealot. He is the person who, and it's still not clear exactly what he did to be able to to defame Darkseid and his in his and his crown and his throne, but he wants it back. But he's owed a debt. The tension between himself and Desaad is so great to be able to see sprinkled throughout, and it's more consistent. The Parademons have more things to be able to do. It was so weird that in 2017, there's just aimless Parademons that are out hunting people because of fear. And I can essentially, that was just only put there to be able to legitimize the way that Steppenwolf ends in that film. Yeah. But the fact that we take the focus off of Steppenwolf and it's rightly put on not Darkseid, I'm a slightly average comic book fan, so y'all gonna have to educate me on the whole like Darkseid, and he's not really Darkseid, he's something else before he becomes Darkseid, because then it further legitimizes why he was able to fall. And that can be confusing for a lot of people, because anytime we've seen Darkseid for general audiences, he's been the baddest motherfucker in the entire galaxy outside of Superman, right? And I know that we'll be able to get to that in a little bit, but it was great. One, the fact that we still are able to be able to see Bruce and Alfred in some amazing scenes together, Silas at Star Labs, and that scene is so much more improved because he's got something to do. He's got a reason for being there. And then we have the Themyscira and the Warning Fire, and the fact that we can be able to have Diana investigating and slowly understanding, because before it's just she just kind of knows about all this stuff. It's hard inside of a film in an interconnected universe to know where other characters are. And while Aquaman doesn't fully work for me in this film, it's because I saw a better depiction of him inside of James Wan Aquaman. Now, this is my reasoning. I think that the Snyderverse, that Aquaman is Earth 1, Wan's is Earth 2. We just don't know it yet. But that's an easy fix. Easy super fix. Because
very true.
Mira says in this film, my parents essentially were gone within the war. No. Dolph Lundgren's your daddy. Claim him. He's Drago. He's there, So it's he's still around, but it's whatever, right? I can kind of quibble. Is it perfect because of that narrative inconsistency? No, it's not perfect. But seeing Zeus do his thing, seeing David Thewlis, but they still kind of kept his image and stuff like that as Ares, which is really, really cool. I would have loved some more lanterns, because I know it's a big sector. We need at least 7 to 10 of those bad boys. You know? But it's cool. We're picking nits at that point, but it's so cool to be able to be a part of. And the music was just so. Gosh, I really wanted to be able to see this in a movie theater. Hashtag Kolby does Dolby.
It should be coming out.
It better
supposedly coming out, because Zack Snyder said that he put 10-minute intermissions for the theater cut.
Why would you do that if you didn't? I mean, it was just great. I mean, seeing Robin Wright in the background, the gods attack Zuri, sealing the mother boxes and stuff like that. It's so inventive. I love how beautiful the world, and it's very, very rich, and just knowing that. The Age of Heroes, as they knew it, they thought that they would never be able to see it again, and it was really wonderful to be able to see, and just it was so grand.
Yeah, grand is a great way to cap off that part. And I guess the big question I have for the panel was in regards to, again, Darkseid or Euskis comes to Earth first. This is the land.
You got to educate me. Say that again. Euskis.
Euskis. Some people pronounce it completely different, but Euskis before he's Darkseid. Before he's Darkseid, he comes to Earth. He marks the Earth with his New Genesis marking. Is it me, or did he not know that the anti-life equation was there?
He did not know. I think once because he didn't have the Omega Ray. Because remember, everyone was looking for because if he had that ray, they were done. They were all
that
dead.
would have been
He would have been super powerful.
up on aisle 5.
Yeah. So I think once he got killed before he noticed things were
that the anti-life was there. Okay.
Yeah. So
because the way it played to me when I first watched it was like, wait, he marked the ground, he picks up the dirt, very similar to what Steppenwolf does. And I'm like, okay, so he knows that the anti-life equation is there, and now is he scared to go back to get his gift? So I guess he didn't have
an overhead shot to be able to see like, oh shit, that's the equation.
Yeah.
I'm in the equation, but I got my ass whooped too quickly to understand that it was there. And I can imagine that, after conquering hundreds of thousands of worlds, he's like, what was that Earth place? I don't remember getting my ass whooped.
I will say that's the one time he's been defeated. So I think that would be the first thing on his mind is like, I lost the Earth, and he would have vengeance to go there. But of course,
and also the fact that Superman, remember, they was blocking the mother box. So if he was blocking the signal for that whole thing, maybe he couldn't find it until Stephen was like, Master.
Yeah. Well, there's a gap in between that battle from 5,000 years ago.
5,000 years ago,
to Superman coming in, like, So, but granted, there were still heroes around. Remember, like, so if those are the protectors that defeated him, and he's waiting for the defenses to be weakened, the gods fall, right? The gods they separate and they go away. Also Atlantis is submerged into the water, right? So understand that has to happen. And then you have man and so like I get it. Is it perfect? Is there still some room where like it could have been better? But like it's still great to watch.
Right.
Another thing too that we kind of need to address, because like if this let's say this was canon, let's say this film was canon, we have Black Adam coming out at the end of the year. Black Adam, they're talking about this dude to be the most powerful dude in the entire DC universe over Superman.
Yeah.
So he's been around for thousands of years.
Right.
So you know what? With him and like and Hawkman and Dr. Fate and Cyclone.
Justice Society.
Justice Society.
Yep.
With them being around for thousands of years, dude, Black Adam could put up a fight against Darkseid the same way Superman could.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think that's the thing we have to understand. In this new way of episodic storytelling, and I learned this in regards to like most recently with WandaVision, right? We're asking these shows that within like essentially with WandaVision, right? You have 9 episodes, in my opinion, to pay something off, but because it's operating within inside of another episodic series, it can be able to wrap up in a movie or 2. So we have to be able to give that same lease to this, right? That was a perfect thing you just said, Soups. I didn't even think about it. Because in my mind, as an audience member, I'm asking, well, it seems a little off that in 5,000 years, why right now? When Superman hasn't been there the entire time, but there have been other heroes. We just don't know how they fit within inside this timeline yet. So we got to give some grace to let it pay off. Restore the Snyderverse.
And one thing that was crazy also is the fact that technically Supergirl was already in Metropolis, because in Man of Steel, the pod was open, but they just never alluded to it. So technically the beacon never went out because there was another Kryptonian on Earth.
Listen, man, I don't know about you guys. I'm nerding out over here. I'm sweating.
All this geekiness,
all the geekiness is just overwhelming. This is what we're here to do. Look. This is what Zack Snyder does. This is the conversation that DC has, and this is why I love DC, and I hope that the future is bright, with Snyder in the world. And we'll talk about it at the end here. But